Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Chat with Amita. Actually, it is the 14th episode of Sri Lanka's first LinkedIn live talk show. How are you today? I hope everybody is back at home after work, probably taken a wash or finished dinner, and it's time to come and join our show for an important discussion today. And for those who are joining, my name is Amita Gamage. You could join me on LinkedIn live, and we are live streaming at the same time to Facebook. That is Amita Gamage Facebook profile, where I have close to 5,000 friends. And then also you can search YouTube for Amita Gamage, and you will find me on YouTube live talking to you. And if you ask me why a LinkedIn live talk show, apparently this is the first LinkedIn live talk show where we go weekly without fail. I was once when I got LinkedIn live, I was going solo for a few weeks, and then I realized in order to add real value, I need to bring an expert and have a discussion. And so far, it has been very successful. So, about me, for those who are just meeting me, I'm an executive coach and I love coaching CEOs. I have a large client base. And then I'm a personal branding strategist. And I also help B2B organizations improve their sales performance. So, what's the topic today? Today, we are going to talk about building a successful career in digital marketing. It's a buzzword. And then after COVID-19, everybody started talking about digital marketing, digital transformation, whatnot. Everything is digital, digital money. So today we are going to focus on, jobs, career. People join various companies, and sometimes even parents do have lots of questions about this unknown territory of digital marketing. So I brought in an expert of the subject, who is probably the most suitable person in Sri Lanka to talk about digital marketing. So let me bring on stage Amita Amarasinghe. Now, generally I type my name as only Amita, but in order to reduce the confusion, I decided to type Amita Gamage, Amita with E, A-M-I-T-H-E, and we have here Amita, A-M-I-T-H-A. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Amita, and good evening, everyone who is joining in live.
Yeah. So, Amita, generally I ask about the person's profile from the guest, but then today I have a different question. Now, few weeks back, maybe, you were working as the chief operating officer of one of the global digital agencies, Sri Lankan office. And after a few weeks here, we are talking to each other now. You have become an entrepreneur. How is the transition from the corporate world for a very long time, and you are on your own now?
Well, to be honest, it's actually a great feeling to be on my own, and it didn't come as a shock to me, or it's a well planned decision, I should say. Even though, like, I've been in a corporate career for nearly 18 years, like I've been, entrepreneur of my own in various different ventures, including DAP, IDM, and this is actually, a lot of people ask this question: why suddenly you had a real great position in one of the best agencies in Sri Lanka, and why you made this sudden decision? It's not a sudden decision, actually. Like, I take my career, my life in 5-year slots. So I do a 5-year audit, and like 5 years ago I did this same audit, and then I realized I thought, okay, I'm going to stay with this company for another 5 years, and I did the same analysis just last year, and then I realized now it's high time for me to try out something new. And so I moved out after 10 years with Ogilvy, and I'm now trying on my new venture, the next mountain to climb.
Yeah. So, Amita, interesting. Now, forget about digital marketing. I think the way you look at your career, your life,
Hmm.
5 year slots,
Hmm.
that tells a lot of things about how one should even look at their own career. I mean,
Hmm.
it doesn't have to be digital marketing, it could
Yeah.
be anything. Whether you are in finance, whether you are in
Hmm.
HR. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So before we get into the other questions, we'll
Hmm.
say hi to few friends. Hi, Viraj. Thank you for joining. And Amjad, interesting topic. Yes, maybe they are in digital marketing, maybe they are planning to join. Anyway, we have few who always come and talk to us. So, Amit, tell me a little bit about
Hmm.
your journey. I
Right.
just want to know whether you have been in digital marketing right throughout, or whether you entered
Hmm.
into it accidentally. Because
Hmm.
now, today, this discussion is about planning. If
Yeah.
someone is planning a career, a job, uh, what should somebody do? Were you planning to get into digital marketing?
Well, so Amita, like, I mean, in our generation, we didn't even knew about something called internet or digital marketing for us to plan for a digital career in our younger ages, right?
Yeah.
But like for quite a long time during my like school days and my university days, anyway naturally I'm inclined towards new technology gadgets. So I, in fact, studied like radio and television repairs some time back. So this gadgets, tech, everything fascinated me. And when I discovered the internet, it like, I mean, naturally it became a passion of me. Uh, and then I remember, like, in my university days also, I did a marketing degree, and in that degree program, I might be the only person who selected some technology related topic for assignments. Like I remember, like, for one of the assignments Mr. Maxwell Ranasinger gave, I analyzed the internet users in Sri Lanka, and how to market broadband to Sri Lankans. This was like in 2001, if I'm not mistaken, right? So likewise, like that was like naturally with me. And then as you asked, like, it was accidental in a way, because I was working, I mean, just after my university, I was working for a very well reputed company in Sri Lanka. And like, I was working there for about 2 years. And one of my friends, of course, my other colleague, the other partner of Apidem, he was working in digital those days in one of these e-commerce companies, and he called me and said, "Damita, there's this vacancy in my firm." And he was the one who actually told me about e-commerce and like online hotel reservations and all. And so I went for the interview and I passed through it. So I started my career in digital. Those days we used to call it as e-marketing, by the way, not digital. And so that's how it started.
Okay. Right. So we have Damit Mahendra. Hi, Damit. Thank you for coming. And we have an interesting question. Anamika is asking, hi, excited to know more about your 5 year slots, like experiences. How did you forecast?
Well, yeah, actually, it's not forecasting. Like, it's actually visualizing, right? Now, like, for example, I'll give you. I mean, like, this visualizing. I remember actually Netila did a video, right,
Yeah.
with our friend sometime back about these visual boards and all, right? I
Yes,
mean, that's a
yes.
very interesting and good concept. Even myself, I remember, like. Uh, Even during my A-level days, like, I was doing commerce stream, and I mean, in back of my head, I had some sort of an idea like I need to get into advertising because I liked watching ads. I like critically looking at ads, newspaper ads, TV ads, and I wanted to get into advertising someday. Like this is like way back in 96, 97, right? And then in university, I accidentally found a book, Ogilvy on advertising in the library. And when I read that, oh, I want to work for this company someday. Like
Wow.
all these things naturally, like I mean, eventually it happened, right?
Wait,
And
wait,
even,
Amit, Amit, I
yeah,
had to disturb you. You read a book about Ogilvy in your university days.
yes,
You found the book accidentally and you thought, I want to work for this company. Seriously?
exactly.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was actually if I'm not missing it, that was I found the book in 2000 or 2001, my second year or third year. And the book is Ogilvy on advertising, very popular, famous book. I have heard about Ogilvy, but that was the first time actually I read a book written by David Ogilvy, and I was so fascinated by his work. Especially, I mean, there were some case studies about what he did with the brand Dow and all that, and Volkswagen Beetle and all those case studies. And I read about it, and I read about the company culture. Like, and I told that I had this thing. I want to get into advertising somewhere. That was in my head some time back, and now I discover Ogilvy, and I told myself, if I work in advertising, I will work for this company. So that was in my back of my head, and eventually I found that opportunity.
Okay. Amit, we get comments. Roshan says law of attraction. You could call it affirmation, manifestation, name it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But interesting. This is also uh, important. Sometimes identifying your passion, whether it is digital or otherwise, that is also important to build your career, right? We'll
yeah,
come there. So
sure.
the next question, Amita, why should someone think of obtaining a digital marketing skill
Hmm.
today? Like, is it only for a digital marketing related job, or are
Hmm.
there any other advantages?
Well, say if I'm to like rephrase the question, like if why should someone not acquire
Oh,
digital marketing skills if you are
yeah.
not planning to do anything with marketing or business? Then you don't have to. If you want to become a doctor, for example, even a doctor would need digital marketing skills. I'll come to that, right? I'll come to that, right? Now, I mean, doesn't matter what profession you are in, you need to have a certain level of digital marketing skills. The reason is like, I mean, like, okay, we'll take a doctor for example. You might be running your like private clinic, a dental clinic
Yes.
or something, right? Now in this age of social media, at some point there can be some kind of negativity going around about your service, your practice. So how are you going to mitigate that? You need to have certain level of social media skills to mitigate that, right? Because like that's one thing. And then like, I mean, or every small business owner need to have at least a certain level of knowledge, skills, to manage their own marketing on digital channels. Now my sister is a dressmaker at home. She design and makes dresses and sell. And very
Oh,
recently she started a Facebook page, and like always bugging me, calling me, asking this, asking that, and why don't you help me? Right now she's learning digital marketing back at home, just to uh, grow her business. So likewise, I mean, it doesn't matter whether you are going to work for a big company or just starting off with a very small business. Everybody needs to have a certain level of skills when it comes to digital marketing and social media.
yeah. So it doesn't matter whether you are planning a career or whether maybe if you have at least the lightest idea of doing something on your own,
Hmm.
some entrepreneurial seed in your mind, it's
Yeah,
always good to learn this. That's what
yeah,
you say.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So yeah. So we'll say hi to few of our friends. Hi, Tamit. Never miss our show. And then we have Chamit. Hi, Chamit. How are you? We also have Ravindra, very important subject in this time. Yes, of course, I think pandemic has changed a lot. People have realized the importance of some of the things suddenly. Amita, my next question would be for someone who gets skilled in digital marketing, will
Mhm.
the future be stable to build a career out of it? I mean, just like other things, will it also be vanished?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, interesting question actually. Just yesterday, I shared a old newspaper article from 2000 something published on Daily Mail, where they have written an article that internet will be a passing fad. Now, like 20 years later, we know what happened with the internet, right? So likewise, even digital marketing as a career, like just like don't go like 20 years from now or 10 years from now. Just think about this year every company in Sri Lanka who is having a marketing department will need at least one digitally skilled person. If they don't have that person, they will hire them. If they don't hire them, they are going to pay the price big time. Just this year there will be whole lot of like vacancies, opportunities for digital marketers, and 5 years from now, not just one person, everybody who is in a marketing department, working for a marketing department for any company, they have to be upskilled for digital marketing, or else they lose their job. So so I mean, in 5 years there won't be a demarcation between digital marketing and marketing. It will be marketing,
Yeah.
and you have to be digitally upskilled
Yeah,
for that.
yeah, interesting how things are evolving. I mean, that's a very good point that you make. In terms of digital marketing, don't plan for a 20-year journey at this moment. Maybe you can take smaller slots because
Yeah,
technology also is evolving. Yeah, things are
exactly.
changing. Now, if you ask about me, uh, in the month of February, I was an ordinary guy, and today I am a live streamer. I mean, other live stream platforms, other professionals who are live streaming are collaborating with me. In fact, I will be having a small workshop for a company tomorrow about video strategy, and I was thinking to myself, where was I few months back? Things are changing and we need to learn. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Shohan, who was one of our guests. Hi, two Amitas.
Hi, Sean.
And we have Lasita. Lasita, thank you for coming. We have Dhammika, uh, I think, coming from Goal. And we have Tarangani. Hi, Mr. Gamage and Mr. Amita. Great to see you both. Uh, okay, you know, I say hi to everybody, whoever is coming. It's a great encouragement. This is, if you ask me why I'm doing this show, actually, it's to add value to our fan base. Hi, so it's really helpful and nice meeting you. Okay. Uh, there's a lot of comments. Thank you both. It's amazing opportunity to learn and work with you. It's a privilege. Okay. Oh, okay. We have friends here. Right. My next question, Amita.
Right.
Uh, how could someone start? We can talk about everything and
Yeah.
where to start. This is a very confusing area sometimes, because
Yeah.
even when you go and search,
Mm-hmm.
you have so many advisors,
Exactly.
right? Let's say you want to learn marketing, somebody will say start with 4 Ps. At least you have some ground rule. Here
Yeah.
it looks too wide. So you are a veteran in the field. I think your even parents. Now, for an example, I have my elder son who is sitting for his O levels, and
Mm-hmm.
as soon as his O level is over, until the A level comes back, I am not going to put him anywhere else, but he will be sent to Asia Pacific Institute of Digital Marketing, Amit. Nothing else. Yeah. So you could be very strict with him. I hope he will not watch the show. So even for parents, it is so
Yeah.
confusing.
Yeah.
We need to find out where to start. Can you please enlighten
Right.
us?
Sure. So actually, you are quite right, Amita. Like digital marketing it's a vast area, right? The first thing that everybody needs to know about digital marketing is that you will never be able to know everything about digital marketing ever. Nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. I mean, like titles like digital guru, digital ninja, those are just
Thanks.
Just lies, right? I mean, nobody is
Yeah.
a guru, nobody is a ninja in digital, right? Because like the knowledge area is so vast. If you try to learn everything, then what will happen is you will be just a headline hitter. You will know what's the latest news from Facebook, what's the latest news from Apple. You will know that, and you will tweet that, you will share that, but how to use that for an actual job, you will
Yeah.
struggle. So therefore, you have to first clear your mind and like make peace with the fact that you are never going to learn everything about digital marketing. Right? I've done that. And at the same time, you have to try and learn as much as relevant information, right? Relevant things for you to practice. Now, for example, now like let's take for example cryptocurrencies. Nowadays it's a very popular topic. Everybody talking about cryptocurrency and blockchain technologies and all. To be really honest, I'm not studying that, right? I'm not studying that, not because that I don't believe in cryptocurrency, right? That's not the case, right? So what I think is there are other experts, people who are experts in financial tech, who are experts in technology and all that. Let them study it. Let them study it. Let them do it. Let them practice it. And whenever we want to get something done in blockchain technologies or cryptocurrencies, we'll reach out to them. I don't have to learn everything from A to Z about cryptocurrencies, right? And likewise, now take TikTok, for example. Now, TikTok, everybody's talking about TikTok and all that, right? Yes, for me to perform at my capacity as a digital marketer, all I need to know is there is a platform named TikTok. These are the like things, and these are the experts in that platform. So
Yeah.
whenever I'm planning a campaign, I reach out to them, right? Now, like if I try to be the expert of TikTok and cryptocurrencies and everything, then what will happen is I will only know the headlines, nothing below that. So therefore, it's a very important thing that if you're starting now actually just to add to that, if you're starting, my advice to the youngsters, I mean like people who are, let's say, just starting, you may not have any work experience or anything, start by creating your own Facebook page or own TikTok profile or your own Instagram page, your blog on Blogger or WordPress, and then try it, or maybe a YouTube channel, and then start or try to drive traffic to that website, that Facebook fan page. Try to drive engagement, right? And see how difficult it is, right? When you realize how difficult it is to set up a YouTube channel and get views, get subscribers, write a blog and attract readers, how difficult it is, you will start appreciating the fact that like these guys like Chanuk's bro and Malinder, they are absolutely geniuses, right? For what they are doing, right? Then you will be able to actually learn from them. You can observe them, what they do, and you can read. And that's how I started learning. Like I mean, even before I joined the agency, I mean when Facebook first launched Facebook fan pages, I actually created community pages. Like one very popular community page which I created those days was titled Kotturoti, because like Kotturoti is a very common this thing. And like within few months, it reached 10,000 fans. Early days, this is fan pages, and then it got blocked. The reason
Okay.
is those days Facebook had a term in their terms and conditions. You can't create a fan page for a non-existing entity. So so they didn't have this concept called community pages, only the business pages. So
So there was no corporation called Kotturoti. They banned it.
exactly. So they banned it. I tried getting it back, but they never let me access into it. Right. So through that, I learned. Likewise, what I tell our youngsters is also create something of your own and try to build an audience around it, and then you will start actually getting that initial skill. After that, of course, you can apply for a job internship somewhere. Of course, you can come to Epidem and do a course, right? And there are plenty of other free courses also. So
Yes.
from there you can actually build it. So those are my advices for someone who is just getting to start in a digital career.
Yeah, I'm sure sometimes it might also let them realize on their own whether it is their journey or not, isn't it?
Mhm.
When
Exactly.
you try it
Exactly.
on your own. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at this moment, my 11-year-old son is actually searching the internet
Mhm.
to create his next LinkedIn post. I said, we post one post every day, and then you
Mhm.
have to, before you go to sleep, I think you better do it and go. So he was going through. So after dinner, I asked him, "What are you doing?" No, I'm looking for something to post for tomorrow. So he manages his own LinkedIn profile. This is how
Yeah.
we move forward. Okay, let's say hi to few of our friends, and there's a lot. Uh, okay, Umesh says, I like your training programs. Probably is referring to you, Amita. Seeing you guys is a good vibe to be honest. Okay, that gives us good vibes. Please do a motivational discussion. Okay, let's see whom we could bring here. Mr. Amita is the Gary Vee in Sri Lanka. He's a big time mentor. I follow his insights always, and thanks to him now into digital marketing. Anuradha, amazing. These are good testimonials actually. A really interesting scope. Someone says, okay, Osanda, very insightful discussion. Melissa says she likes it. And then we have Roshan, Sri Lanka needs to have more people on podcast industry. What
Mhm.
is your advice? Amita, you have a question
Yeah.
suddenly about podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, it's actually a very good point which Roshan pointed now. Like, say, I I hooked on to podcasting again because of Malinda. I'm a big follower of Malinda Lahakon. He's not only his YouTube channel, he do this podcast as well. I used to listen to his podcast while I'm driving to work, and through that I actually discovered so many other like non-Sri Lankan foreign podcast, and I realized like how valuable content they are discussing. But in Sri Lanka, in Sinhala medium, there are like very few podcasts that we have. Even in English medium, we see very small number of things. But what what I remember, like I did a small survey sometime back on one of the very popular Facebook community groups in Sri Lanka about the popularity of podcast in Sri Lanka, and I see that there is about like uh, closer to about like 5% of our internet users are actually listening to podcasts already.
Okay.
Not maybe not Sri Lankan one. So that means 5% of the internet population is huge in the sense. I mean, it's a sizable audience. It's a sizable audience, and it'll only grow. For it to grow, we need content creators. Now if you look at YouTube industry, for example, in Sri Lanka, like it all started with like Jihanar, and then there are a few other guys like Gappia and all those. Now like you see like everybody's doing YouTube, but podcasting also we need that. The problem might be actually like consistency. Like I mean, even I'm guilty of that. Like I mean, we start things
Same
and then
here.
we start things, and after few things, because of our busy
Life
lifestyle, we
schedule.
give up on that. But like, yeah, I mean, if someone can actually consistently hang on to it, there'll be a lot of demand for podcasting in Sri Lanka in future.
Yeah. So two things. I'll be definitely doing it here publicly. I'm announcing it. I've been planning, but I started the LinkedIn Live talk show now. I have been doing it for 14 weeks continuously, Amita. So that's consistency, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, so I have an advice to Roshan. Now he's talking about, Roshan, why don't you start a podcast?
Yeah.
Simple as that. I mean, we don't have those technological barriers. Amita, do you need the millions worth of equipment to do this?
Not really, actually. Like I tried out this app, Anchor.fm.
Yes.
I mean, that's a wonderfully, I think it's owned by Spotify, if I'm not mistaken. Like Anchor.fm is a brilliant smartphone app which you can use to create podcasts. You can record it with crystal clear audio with your mobile phone mic itself, and then you can edit it, add like background music tracks and all that, and then distribute it to
other
Apple and
platforms.
yeah, other platforms. It's so
Yeah.
I'd
So
suggest
now,
like try it out.
yeah. So Roshan asked a question. Now we are challenging Roshan. Roshan, start your own podcast. I hope he wouldn't mind. So we have other. Dominda says great discussion, and then we have Mushid. Thank you, Mr. Gamge, for bringing Mr. Amita on screen. He has got a lot to share about digital marketing. Okay, yeah. I mean, you seems to be having a lot of fans here in my show, Amita. Okay, Amita, my next question. Okay, we are
Yeah.
actually talking about digital marketing and digital marketing career. Now,
Hmm.
don't you think that customers also will know digital? So there will be uh, whether there will be any requirement for workers. You
Hmm.
yourself said, a doctor has to know a little bit about digital marketing so he can manage his own things.
Yeah, yeah. Well, actually, having the basic skill and going to a professional level, that's always actually there is a gap or a difference, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
of course, like I can get my walls painted at my home, but a professional painter would always do a better job, right? So, in that sense, I don't think there will be any shortage of opportunities for professional digital marketers, even in future, because like see one thing which is happening, Amita, is you would have noticed that like I mean you are a consultant and like few years ago, when I say few years, let's say 10, 15 years ago, for a market like if you look at any marketing consultant in Sri Lanka or in many other parts of the world, like they were aiming the middle to large scale companies. I mean, India hit list, they always
yes,
want to work with Unilever, they always want to work with Nestle or DSI or Maliban, the big
yep,
corporates, right? Today, the reason is actually those were the only companies who did marketing 10, 15 years ago. The
years
smaller
ago, yep,
companies, they didn't do marketing because there was an entry barrier to marketing. The media cost is so high for them to afford. And
yes,
therefore, the small businesses, they never bothered doing marketing. Now, because of digital, everybody can do marketing. The budgets, the entry barriers are lower.
having dim lower.
So now the small businesses, they want to do something in the marketing department. For that, there are like plenty of opportunities for people to consult them as digital marketers and work for them on freelance basis. There is a huge opportunity. So therefore, I don't think like everybody learning digital marketing will become a problem for anyone who wants to pursue a professional career in digital marketing.
All right. So this is for our audience. If you have a question about digital marketing career, if you're thinking about moving forward as a digital marketing professional, you can ask Amita. Of course, you can always catch Amita online, but then today we are specifically talking about this. So we also have Tilini who says this discussion is very important. I'm hoping to start her career in digital marketing. Okay, that's interesting. A good decision. Yeah. So my next question: what are the basic requirements for someone to start a
Mhm.
career in digital marketing? I mean, some of the things we know, they say, okay, minimum you have to have O level, or you need
Mm.
to have A level, or you need to have English and maths
Yeah,
essential. Is there
yeah.
any basic requirements?
Well, actually, those are important and relevant. I don't say like education qualifications are irrelevant. Those are important, and you have to strive to get those qualification. But on top of that, like for you to start a digital career, what you need is basically, of course, like kind of like a passion and craziness towards newness, new thing, right? I mean, like if you are the like type of personality who actually needs something new to be tried out,
Yeah,
and this is your career, this is where you have to go, because I mean you would never be bored. Now, like I'm working here in this career for 16 years now, and like still every day it's a new challenge. Every week there is something new to learn and something new to try out. What you did like last week or last month will not work today. It actually happened to me today. Like, so I don't want to go into detail. Like something which worked really well a month ago fails today, and you have to actually fresh think fresh
Yeah,
and start thinking like what to do next. That, like if you are the type of personality who would like that type of a working environment, that's one of the qualifications that you need. But
okay.
like if you are the type like you need like certainty and time tested things and all that, then you might be a little overwhelmed with the
Don't
challenge
take risk.
of marketing. Yeah.
Yeah. So Roshan has accepted. Looks like he has accepted our challenge. Yeah, I'm living in USA, hoping to do in Q2. My space would be a new technology on workout space. Amazing. I think that is
Mhm.
also
Yeah.
trending. Very important. So all the best, Roshan. Let us know once when you start. Maybe we should be able to subscribe and listen to your weekly or monthly podcast. So the other question, Amita, I have is, while we are taking uh, questions from the audience, they will throw us some questions. So my next question would be, so what are the main areas? Are there any verticals
Mhm.
in digital marketing? I mean, let's say even for a parent or
Right.
even for someone who is thinking, sometimes, you from your home, your parents will say, do whatever you want. And I like digital marketing. But then, uh, and you yourself, few minutes ago, told that, you better not strive to learn everything of all the verticals, then
Yeah.
you will only hit the headlines.
Hmm.
So let's imagine if I want to master one vertical,
Hmm.
I need to know the number of verticals, and I also need to know whether which vertical would most
Yeah.
suitable for.
Yeah.
Could you give us some additional information?
Yeah, sure. Actually, there are like different classifications of scope of digital marketing, like where you can go and the areas you can get specialized in. So just to simplify it, like I at a very broader level, I will break it into like three layers or three
Okay.
pillars, I'd say. One, using digital for brand marketing, right?
Okay.
Uh, that is basically building brand, creating brand engagement, like what you would do for Coca-Cola, for example, using digital marketing for brand building and brand exercises. And then this is actually the second one is actually the first to evolve.
First one.
that
Yeah.
that for the first concept in digital marketing is performance, using digital marketing for performance or
Performance based. Yeah.
conversions, sales, right? So that's the second specialization that you can have. And the third, at a broader level, at the third, digital for PR. I mean, like even the PR industry is now going digital online. I mean, what we call as social media is essentially digital PR, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So now, if we break it down into these broader level pillars, digital for brand marketing, digital for performance marketing, and digital for PR, there are like sub pillars or sub sectors where you can have your expertise developed in. For example, for brand marketers, you can study digital advertising, for example, like Google AdWords, Facebook ads platform, like programmatic buying and all that. You become a media specialist, digital media specialist. You become that like one person who everybody would ask, like how to optimize a Facebook ad campaign or how to optimize a Google search campaign. And then in the brand marketing space itself, you can do social media, again, social media community management and all that you can do for brand building. And of course, content creation. You can create branded content. You can, if you are a good video producer, you can specialize in that area. If you are a content writer, you can write branded content. And then of course, digital driven creative campaign. Now in advertising and marketing industry, we have this genre, or the genre of people, or caliber of people whom we call as the creatives in agencies we have. Now they also have to get themselves upgraded or upskilled to digital. Now being a creative in the advertising industry will no longer be about writing TV ad scripts, right? Like, I mean, that's what happened in most cases. Like, you have like several rounds of meetings and come back with a TV ad script, but it's not going to work. So
Yeah.
you need to start thinking about how to use technology creatively. Like, say in the old paradigm, technology is given, TV is given, right? Creativity is yours. You don't have to worry about. I mean, you don't have to bother about how the TV works technically. You
True
don't
enough.
have to bother about it, right? So you do your job, and then someone else will schedule it on TV. But you
Yeah.
can't do the same thing on Facebook or on other web platforms. You need to learn how Facebook works, how people
Yes.
react to Facebook. As a creative person, you need to know that. If you don't know that, you will end up producing TV commercials for Facebook, which will inevitably fail. So digital creativity is one thing when it comes to brand marketing, and then in performance pillar, again, like search engine optimization, conversion optimization, and again programmatic and data driven decision making will play a huge role. If you can become analytics expert, e-commerce expert, Shopify expert, you can get into that. And then of course digital PR, again social media, community management, content creation, and crisis and reputation management. that's
Management.
that's going to be another area where there will be a lot of experts are needed, because brands are prone for social media crisis, people
Yeah.
criticizing brands online. Then you need like these reputation management experts, crisis management experts to help brands to come out of those areas, so you can become an expert in that area. So likewise, there are like so many different areas where one can build their expertise within this domain of digital marketing.
Interesting. So the opportunity is huge. Out of those areas, Amita, if I may ask you, what areas are giving the highest paid these days?
Hmm.
I'm sure not all
Hmm.
verticals or sub areas are giving the same return. You know,
Yeah,
maybe due to lack of
yeah,
experts, sometimes someone can earn more.
yeah.
Few areas just for
Yeah,
understanding.
sure, sure. Actually, to be really honest, Amita, it's a very difficult question to answer. The reason is this whole industry or this whole field is still like, volatile. There are like no standard pay scales and stuff like that. So therefore, it's really difficult. But like, if I may like pick couple of areas, like for example, like anyway, your salary or your earning potential, it comes with the opportunity cost, right? Now, for example, if you are skilled in, let's say, digital creativity, for example, you are a master digital creative guy. You do like brilliant artworks for Facebook and YouTube and all that. You have that skill, right? Rather than working for a one company and earning a salary, you can freelance and earn three times that salary, right?
Yes.
So then you can weigh the opportunity cost and decide whether to work for one company or freelance and earn three times that salary. Same way, actually, search engine optimizers, SEOs. It's really hard to hire SEO guys full time to work for companies. They won't come. The reason is like they have plenty of like freelancing opportunities in
Opportunities.
SEO industry where they can actually earn up to three times a month what the company is offering them as a monthly salary, right?
True.
So likewise, it's an area, therefore, I mean, it's really difficult to like set benchmarks when it comes to the earning potential. But I already mentioned two, like digital creativity and search engine optimization, earning potential is really high. And of course, now the up and coming area is data. Can you work with data and do predictive models and find insights for the brands and guide them? So that's going to be a highly demanded area in future.
And then in terms of career wise, luckily you don't also have to go somewhere and work. You would be hired by
Mm.
companies outside Sri Lanka easily.
Exactly, that's the thing. I mean, even geographical boundaries are not applicable here,
Not
because some of these
right.
SEOs I mentioned, like I mean SEO experts, local ones, they don't work for Sri Lankan companies. I mean, they work, their clients are in Europe, America, and all over the place. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we have few comments from others. Like Ajit was saying, Ajit said that's correct. Digital marketing is all about changing things, new things. Thank you, Ajit, for your comment. And Dhiran Dimel is asking a question: graphic designer versus digital marketing. Why do employers combine these two skills and create a job role? Amita, I know you are not responsible, but you
Yeah.
should be able to give some
Yeah.
explanation.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, this happens not only graphic designer and digital marketer, like people. I mean, of course, early days when you didn't have any definitions of these different roles, companies wanted to hire one person and get everything done by them. Even we did that. Like, I mean, to be really honest, like uh, uh, when we started near Togilvi back in 2010, like first few people we hired who are now in real great positions in their own digital careers, they did everything. They did client servicing, they did graphic designing, they wrote content, they did Google ads, they did Facebook ads, everything. And uh, I mean, like, because they took that challenge without complaining, now they are in a very good positions, right? But later, what
Of
happened
course.
was when these job roles were properly segregated and the demand was high, then we also started actually hiring specialized graphic designers, specialized content writers who know nothing about setting up Google ads campaigns or Facebook campaigns. And then we have like paid media people who can't write content, so that's perfectly fine. So it's actually a evolutionary thing. Now what Diran is mentioning, this some companies who are asking for people to have graphic designing and digital marketing skills in one package, they were in the early stage of their evolution. So at one
Yeah.
point they will realize that it's really hard to get all these skills in one person.
All right. So, we had our fans joining from USA. Now we have someone from Dubai. Imam says, I'm a digital marketer in Dubai, do SMM, SEO, web developing, video making, etc. to some company. All the best, Imam. Thank you very much for joining from, far away countries. It's good to see. And we have a question from Naomi. Hello to both of you, Amita sir. Where should someone with business development as the main career start in digital marketing? If someone already in business
Right.
development,
Right.
now she or he wants to get into digital marketing. Amita, you are the expert here now.
Yes, actually, I'll start answering this question, and I'm sure, like Amita, you can also add to this. Now, actually, Naomi
Yeah,
is essentially touching the topic of B2B social selling and personal branding. That's those are the two things which matters for someone who is in the business development field for a company. How you utilize digital, like like one thing that you need to do is you need to like polish up your own personal brand on digital platforms, especially on LinkedIn and other platforms, as a business development person. And you have to become an expert in the product you sell, or the service you sell, and create content around that, and then start connecting with people and try to solve problems for those people, and your business will eventually develop. Now, this is as against to what most people are doing wrong, that connecting with people on LinkedIn or social networks, and the next thing you know is inboxing them, so I have this package, would you mind buying it from me? Right? So never do that for business development. For business development, my advice is build your personal brand, build your personal network on LinkedIn especially, and connect to people. I'm like, say for example, now in my LinkedIn program, I'll tell the both side of it. Like, on my LinkedIn profile, on my social profiles, I always talk about digital marketing, and I talk about Epidem also, but I'm not overly promoting Epidem on my any of my social profiles. But every time when there is an intake and when we have our ads running on our other platforms, not through my personal profiles, I get whole lot of inbox messages from my LinkedIn network and of course my Facebook network directly asking from me about the course. And then I give the detail and then I pass it to the enrollment manager to take it from there. So that is business development through digital channels or social channels, right? And the other way, now there are plenty of people on my LinkedIn network who are like some people are very senior position, holding very senior positions in sales and business development in certain companies. They got to know me and they connected with me, and they at one point they tried selling something to me, right? Service or something, very professionally, but because I didn't need that product or service, I politely declined. But still, that relationship is there, and
Yeah.
they are still connected to me on LinkedIn. And one day, when I need that service, I know where to go, right?
Yeah.
Like, as against the people who connect with me and the first thing they do is like try to sell their product, I right away block them and they have no chance to reach to me thereafter. So this is why it's very important when you're doing business development through social media, build the network, build the confidence, build a relationship, and maintain that relationship for a longer period. Don't rush things. I mean, the sale. I mean, the fact that you have, let's say, 5,000 connections on LinkedIn, it doesn't mean that next month you can get like 50 sales, right? It might take time.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a fine example. A top bank, an assistant manager level person got connected to me at 4:22 in the evening, and at 4:23, I was getting a, copy and pasted message saying hi. I
And
said, "What?"
sometimes with the wrong name, right?
Tell me about it. So I said, "Hi, why are you sending me the same message? You don't even here. I am customizing my answer reply to you, and you are sending me a message like this from a top bank, and you are an assistant manager." Uh, I said, "Don't think that LinkedIn is a database. LinkedIn is a community. It's a society. People are living it. Whatever you don't do on in the real society, you don't do it here." You know what he told me? "Hey, I'm a very straightforward person. Here I come and tell you, if you don't like to buy, it's all right." I,
Mm.
I got a shock. He knocked on my door, came into my land, and he was advising me what to do. And he said, a change in the thought process is expected. I simply said, I have no time to waste. I said, "Good luck." And I didn't block the person. But then that message will stay forever. Even if he goes to a company where they sell generators and he wants to promote a generator to me, that inbox, it is there. So uh, I think you touched a valid point, even though our discussion is not about LinkedIn, but for business development, personal branding, LinkedIn is the place. Thank you, Amit. It was a lengthy answer. So it's like this. We generally finish our session by 1 hour, but then there are no restrictions, Amita. You can spare a few extra minutes, 5-10 minutes for us, because
Surely.
there are there are so many questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have okay, Naomi. I think hello to both of you. Where should someone? Okay, I think you answered that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So the next one is good question, Naomi, but as also have question. There's a career opportunities in digital marketing. There is career opportunities in digital marketing in Sri Lanka. Definitely yes. Amita, you don't have to always go abroad, right?
Definitely, you don't have to. I mean, there are plenty of opportunities in Sri Lanka.
Yeah. Okay. So Nuance says, as a country, we already have enough job seekers. We need experts to create jobs in this industry. Would like to have your views on this, Amita.
Yeah, actually, Nuwan, this quite contrary to this. My experience is there are plenty of jobs in digital marketing, but there are no sufficient people who would want to take that or who would want to skill themselves up to grab those opportunities. Because I'm telling this, with my experience of trying to hire people for the vacancies at the previous agency I worked for. And for sometimes, like, just to fill 2 vacancies, we interview about like 25-30 people, right? But still we don't get the right type of people we want to. I mean, so what I see is, in digital, I mean, like, how many messages I get every day from my friends network: Amita, find me someone for this vacancy, find me someone, like, from some top companies. And they are like, I mean, following up with me and saying, now you are a very expert in digital marketing, you have contacts with all the institutes and universities in Sri Lanka, why can't you find someone for me, right? The reality is that, right? I mean, but I think there is some sort of a mismatch. Maybe those job seekers are not seeking the jobs in right places, right? So they might be looking for jobs in some obsolete places. But like, in my network, I see every day people posting, like, from digital agencies and various different organizations for digital related vacancies. So actually, this is a good conversation, Nuan. Thanks for bringing it up. I think we need to do something somewhere down the line. We'll think about this. We need to bridge this gap, like,
Yeah. So that's why I wanted to ask you about the demand and supply. Now,
yeah,
what you say is there's a huge demand.
yeah.
Also, maybe there is a supply. Maybe the supply is in the wrong place,
Hmm.
or maybe supply is thinking that they are well qualified up to that level.
Yeah,
Maybe industries are asking for a different level.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe there's a mismatch.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's something that I observe. I mean, like, I mean, please, like, that's something that I like to urge to the youngsters. Like, I mean, sometimes you're okay. Now, I am a BSc marketing graduate. I am an MBA from PIM, right? So with all those qualifications completed, I am telling this, just because you have a degree or an MBA, it doesn't necessarily qualify you for a job. Right?
Yeah.
So if,
Yes.
I mean, if I say that without telling those two things, someone might say, he doesn't have the qualifications, that's why he's saying, right? I'm telling this after obtaining the qualification. It doesn't, I mean, this is the problem. Like, simply because people have the qualifications, the paper qualification, the letters, right? They think that I have to start at this level. I will never start at this level, right? So this is the problem. And this is the problem. And because there is a, I mean, dire need for people to fill some of these vacancies, what companies are doing is, I mean, we can't blame the companies also. They have to fill the vacancies,
Yeah.
and they hire some of these underqualified people at a higher salary.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then that become the norm. I mean, it's perfectly okay for them to get a higher salary, but they settle for that, and they never bridge that gap. They never do that extra effort to, okay, straight away you get to the assistant manager position, and then you, like, okay, I'm the assistant manager digital marketing for that company. But
Yeah. And
in
then, Amit,
reality, yeah.
yes. And then you are also putting the industry into a big trouble.
Exactly. I'll give you some numbers. These are actually numbers not from a Sri Lankan organization. This is from marketingprofs.com, which is a well-known American platform. They've done some surveys, and they say 40% of organizations are not able to find sufficient talent to handle their digital marketing workloads. 40% of the companies, and 70% of large companies say their digital marketers are strong in some areas but mediocre in others, right?
True.
And half the digital marketers who surveyed, the people who have the title digital marketer, half of them, they personally are not confident about their own competency level in digital marketing. This is the reality, right? So that's why we need to be really, like, on the ball. We need to, like, learn. We can't depend on, like, our degree forever, what we learn in our degree program. We need to keep reading, we need to keep trying, we need to watch videos, take like small courses, all that you need to do to keep upgrading, upskilling your professional skills.
Yeah, Amit, now today's discussion is about the digital career, your career path
Mm.
on digital marketing. So some of these inputs from coming from a person like you is very, very important, Amit, because I can see that you are honestly, genuinely giving your feedback. Now,
Mhm.
eh, because people sometimes look for a way to just to live the day. I need a job to get a salary.
Yeah,
Now, in digital marketing, I mean, not only in digital marketing, even other
yeah,
jobs, you can't just get a job to get a salary. There's
yeah,
certain amount of work that you need to do
yeah,
to shine. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Interesting. I mean, we can go on talking about this. No, I mean,
Yeah,
Uh, hi, Dinuka. Dinuka says, wow. And then, Nuan says, great combination. Yeah, okay. Naomi says, thank you for that feedback about business development. So, Nuan is saying, Amita, you and a very few are looking for exact requirements, but
yeah,
most of others are just looking for people to do digital marketing. I agree with you, but we need to streamline the industry to fill out the vacuum.
definitely. Yeah,
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 yeah, agreed.
yeah.
So, okay, Madhushan says great discussion. Sanjay, who was in our discussion earlier, much needed discussion. Sanjay, thank you very much for dropping in, encouraging us. So, Amita,
Mhm.
I now you have gone from very basic level of digital marketing job, and then you have learned probably some of the things you would have self-learned, and I don't think you had a place to take a digital marketing diploma or anything like that, and you climbed the corporate ladder up to the C level in a digital agency,
Yeah,
and then you have become an entrepreneur also.
yeah.
So, what is your? I mean, I maybe it is an unfair question, but then I need to ask: build a corporate career or become an entrepreneur? What is your
Well,
advice?
yeah.
Done both.
So, yeah, my obvious answer is you have to do both if you are in digital marketing. Because, like, say, digital marketing is a skill which is too good for you to just give it away for a corporate career, right? Because, like, so how, I mean, I take this example all the time, like what we are living through these years, like this like first 2 decades of the 21st century. This
Yeah,
is for digital or digital economy. This is the equivalent of the first phase or the first decades of the industrial revolution, right?
sure.
Now during the industrial revolution, people moved from agriculture to industries, right? And when they moved, like there were people who decided to sell their industrial skills to others, and then there are others who started their own industrial ventures.
Yeah,
Now like 100, 200, 300 years later, we are celebrating them as heroes, and we don't know about those others who worked in those factories, right?
yeah,
So that's why at this moment I think digital marketing is a skill. If you have that skill, yes, work for a company because you need a living, right? I mean, to end of the month you need some money to survive, right? You need to do that, but at the same time use your digital skill to start a side gig. But of course it has to be done with proper like integrity and ethical grounds. You shouldn't be like competing with your own employer at any point. You have to
yes,
have that lines cleared with
ethics.
your employer very upfront, so which I did actually when I worked with Ogilvy, my Apidum thing, it was a full disclosure to my employer. So I'm involved in this. So all those things has to be there, and like demarcation of your time, right? So you when you are with your employer, you have to be with your employer, give full out to your employer, and your free time, your Saturdays, your Sundays after 6 7, what you do, you can build your side gig. And gradually at one point you'll realize that okay, now I can go on my own. So that's what I did. So So that's what I did. But sometimes it might not work for everybody. But I just shared my experience. But sometimes, I mean, you might not like to be an entrepreneur. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, totally fine. Then you can like settle for a corporate career. That's totally fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong in it.
Nothing wrong in it. I mean, you can go up to sea level,
Exactly.
earn good amount, recognition, whatnot. People
Yeah.
appreciate different things. So, Nuan says, first time I joined with the conversation. This is a good eye opener. Thanks for hosting. Fingers crossed for the next session. Oh, come on, you have been missing 13 episodes. Anyway, thank you for coming. Charit says, because mostly they don't have a clue whatsoever about the completely different role. This is the answer to digital marketing and graphic designing, because Charit is an expert in the creative industry, who also has worked in other outside Sri Lanka, and someone who is making a huge difference in this industry. Charit, thank you very much for coming. We are proud to have you here. Thank you very much coming and giving your expert idea. So Viraj says, I'm not in the field of digital marketing, but more interesting, and I would like to learn about digital marketing. So Amitabh, let me, with that question, I would like to straight away ask this question. Now, what is Asia Pacific Institute of Digital Marketing is offering?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sure, sure. I'll actually go to a bit of the history of the institute, and then people will
Come to
understand it
yes.
better. Like, I mean, like I told you that, like I started my career thanks to my friend Suranga, who is the other founder, the co-founder of Apidem. Like we worked for this company, like Roomsnet, sometime back, the online travel agency firm, and like those days we didn't have a place to go to learn or to go take classes or diplomas or anything. So what we did was we actually learned by trial and error. We did certain things on our own. Then I started writing a blog, amisampat.com. Then I shared what I learned on my blog. And then Suranga also those days he had his blog. And then later Suranga started like uh, conducting workshops. He started the business academy on his own, and he conducted a couple of workshops in Colombo. And at one point, he actually asked me to join in as a resource person for his institute, the business academy. This was way back in 2009 or somewhere. And then with Suranga, I did a couple of workshops, and then we started the online program back in 2010. Uh, 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 a digital marketing course, online delivered course in 2010. And that was the time I think Suranga moved out to Australia, and I took up my job at Ogilvy, and we both became really busy. And after a couple of years, that course actually slowly diminished. And by at that time, I was not even a partner of the business. I was just a resource person. And somewhere around like 2013, 14, like a lot of people approached me and asked, Amita, I remember you were like sharing some workshop flyers sometime back. Aren't you doing those workshops again? So we would like, because I mean, those days it was really hard to enroll people for those workshops.
Yeah.
2009, 2010, I'm talking about. It
I
was
got
really
enrolled.
hard. I mean, yes,
I
you
I
were
was one of the
early.
customers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So it was really hard, right? I mean, people were like, looking at it as a fad and all that. But like when this demand came, and I told you that I had this entrepreneur in one part of me, and then I was thinking, okay, now it's the high time for someone to start a digital training institute in Sri Lanka. And then
Yeah.
what I did was, I mean, I'm a person who believes in collaboration, right? I mean, now Suranga was in Australia. He completely almost like forgot about EBA by that time, and I would have easily started something on my own. But what I did was I called Suranga and said, Suranga, I don't want to
Absolutely.
start something new. You already have this institute. Let's do this together. I'll be your partner, and I'll do this from this end. And he agreed, and we relaunched the institute in 2015 again as e-business academy, and registered the company. And then we gradually developed it. In 2017, we got the opportunity to work with a Cambodian institute for me to go there and do uh, workshops
Workshop.
in Cambodia. So with that, actually, we with your guidance also, we had, I remember, like we had couple of like mentoring sessions as well. We renamed the institute as the Asia Pacific Institute of Digital Marketing, with a vision to make it a regionally recognized institute. That's our vision. We want to make it a institute which produce digital marketers for the entire Asian region. From entire Asian region, they can work anywhere in the world, but we want to expand into these places like Cambodia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, India, all the places in Middle East. And that's how the institute was started. And right now we have two programs running. The very first program we launched is the Professional Diploma in Digital Marketing, which is aimed at people who are already working in the marketing field. I mean that's a very important segment that we have realized. People who have, let's say, like 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, sometimes even 15, 20 years experience in marketing, they now feel that, okay, I don't have the digital skill and I need to learn this. And we developed this professional diploma in digital marketing, completely keeping them in the focus. If you are already in marketing, and if you know your marketing, and if you already run your business, and if you want to get upskilled for digital marketing, that's the program, professional diploma in digital marketing. And then we realized that not only upskilling the existing marketers, we need to create more new digital marketers to the market as well. So with that
Yes.
objective, we launched the certificate in digital marketing, where we target school leavers, like people who are like 70 to, let's say, about like 22, 23 years
Wait,
old.
Amita, now
Yeah.
my elder son is 16. He will be finishing his O level, and until he gets his O level results, I'm
Mhm.
going to send him there. So where would he fit in?
It'll be the certificate program. It'll be the certificate program. Because
Okay.
it's a very like foundation, fundamental level program, short program, 3 months program, where we like give them a like kind of like a launch pad for them to start a career in digital marketing by giving them the basic understanding. And these days we are in discussions with a few companies, Sri Lankan companies, to give like industry training opportunities as well for the people who are completing the certificate in digital marketing program. There'll be some industry training opportunities as well with some of the well-known Sri Lankan organizations.
Wow, super, Amita. So, any last advice, last message before we? I think we have taken about 1 hour and 12 minutes, because there were a lot of participation, there were a lot of questions. But before that, Amita, I also have to announce this. Every week. I We have someone who is helping us uh, to give away a book, and it is courtesy of Pick a Book. They always give us a book. I mean, there's no competition here. I randomly pick somebody. So today I have picked Naomi Heva Talagalage for those questions that she asked. Please inbox your address wherever you are, and then we will courier the uh, book to you. It's a self-help or personal development book. Amita, any last thoughts while I display your institution website?
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Amita, for having me, hosting me in this show. And thanks to our audience for awesome questions and inputs shared. I think these type of shows need to happen quite often. Like, I mean, kudos to Amita for doing this continuously for 14 weeks. And like, I mean, if someone else is thinking of starting a show, because there's no competition. I mean, again, okay, I'm mentioning Malinda several times. This is the third time I'm mentioning
No
Malinda.
problem. No
like,
problem.
like one thing I learned from Malinda in his like early days when he started the YouTube channel, the Tech Track Show. I remember like he came to our agency for one project, and I was having, because I knew Malinda from somewhere else long before he started YouTube, and we were having this chat, and I was giving him the feedback. One question he asked is, Amita, are there any other YouTubers you know who do content like this, which you have contacts with and all that, right? And then at that time I only knew Chanuk's bro, and then I said this is the only guy. And he was asking, like he was actually asking, is this guy is good or that? And then I asked, why you are interested? So no, I want to network with them, he said. I want to
Wow.
network with them. I he said that, like, it's not that me trying to build my channel. If we can together build the entire ecosystem, there will be people who come watch Chanuk's channel, and at one point they will start watching my videos as well. And there will
True.
be people who start with Vasti videos, and they will end up watching my videos as well, which was actually absolutely a very good insight that I gained from me, because that's the difference in traditional media paradigm and digital media paradigm. Now, in traditional media, when you are watching the prime time on Sirasa, you can't watch prime time on Sarnavahini. So you compete, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
Sarnavahini and Sirasa, you have to compete, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Malinda and Chanuks, they don't have to compete because there's no fight for airtime, right?
No.
So
No.
people watch it on their own space, on their own time, right? So this is the thinking. So likewise, I think even for these LinkedIn live shows, podcasts, YouTube shows, I think more and more people actually need to get into this so that we will see a better ecosystem in Sri Lanka. Like someone mentioned about like Gary V. Now, that's why America is so ahead, right?
Yeah.
So
We
not only
collaborate.
Gary V, how many people are there? Like, I mean, who are creating valuable content. And I'm a huge fan of Patrick Bet David,
Yes.
the valuetainment, right?
Yeah.
So likewise, there are, like, I mean, so many content creators. They don't compete; they collaborate. So
Yeah.
that has to happen even in Sri Lankan ecosystem. So we will see a lot and lot more things
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, the other thing is I think we also need to look at the world. I mean, Sri Lanka is not the market for us. I'm sure you, I mean, you yourself said that Apidum has looked at the Asian region. So likewise, I think we also need to look at the other opportunities are available if we can actually deliver.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Amita, thank you very much for coming and helping those who are seeking some kind of advice, guidance, and whoever is starting to move into digital as a career, their professional growth is on that path. I think we have added enough value. Why this show is also is for in order to add value to our target audience. So thank you very much. And whoever has so many times missed this show, please join us from next week. Again, there's a lineup of things. We are going to talk about so many topics. I mean, I'm actually thinking, Amita, whether I do this only on Thursday, whether I should start another day as well. There's so much of people who are shown interest, and there's so
Yeah.
much of things. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming. Thank you very much, Amita. Being
Yeah.
a busy day, would have been a busy day, but then you still agreed. And next week, make sure to log into LinkedIn, Amita Gamange, and then again to Facebook and YouTube, and join us for a fruitful conversation like this. And stay safe and good night.
Okay. Bye bye, everyone. Good night.
Good
Stay
night.
safe.